Ladies and gentlemen, my goodness. Wow. I just witnessed a incredible game in the Champions League, Newcastle versus PSG. I thought I'll do a review on this particular match. I don't want to dwell too much on the particular match and what has happened, the ins and outs. As you can see, 4-1, Newcastle victorious. And Newcastle has done it with 27% possession. They absolutely suffocated the living daylights out of PSG. They just did not allow PSG to build up. It was a fantastic press. It was such a well thought out, organized system by Eddie Howe, and that's what I want to really harp on about. I mean, of course, I'll touch base on some of the player performances, but ladies and gentlemen, this football club, I just can't get over the fact how much the rise is so incredible, so amazing from where they were once upon a time before the new ownership, prior to the new ownership, the previous regime. They were in relegation zone. They were looking at perhaps going into the championship. And then all of a sudden, the new owners come in, the new manager with Eddie Howe comes in, and how Eddie Howe has turned things around, we get told about process and being patient. Like these guys did all of this in such a short time. Like they're now winning in the Champions League, beating PSG 4-1. Now, whether you rate PSG or not, that's a different story. Whether this PSG is up to the standards, that's a different story. But the fact is, how far Newcastle has come from when the new ownership took over. I just can't get over this. Honestly, I can't get over this. You compare this with something like what Chelsea Football Club, what we are doing, and you think, it is possible. It is possible. All of these things about being patient and this is a process. Newcastle, they went through the same thing, and they've literally turned their fortunes around. Do you know what I mean? Like I know this season it's been a bit of an iffy start, but let's be honest. There have been games where they've competed. It's not like they've just been blown away by it. I think recently they just beat someone 8-0. Was it Sheffield United that they beat 8-0? This particular game, ladies and gentlemen, honestly, the way Eddie Howe set up against PSG, we all know they want to play with possession. They want to play build up football and progress from their third to the middle third to the final third. The way Newcastle applied six players in the press and kept the line quite high. The 6 players that were quite high up just simply did not allow PSG to come out of the box. PSG did not know how to build up from the back. It was all areas. Every passing lane was blocked off. The only opportunity PSG had was if they could beat the line of 6, I think it was 2 and then 4 behind. If they could beat those 6 people, then there was a lot of room in the middle of the park for them to do the damage. But Newcastle's so disciplined, so organized that if that ever happened, and it didn't happen too many times, the one time where it was looking to happen is when Newcastle trapped PSG with Marquinhos trying to dink the ball over the 6-man press. And his dink wasn't successful, and off the back of that led to the Almiron goal. And it was a trap. It was the trap that Newcastle set. Even if they were successful, the odd time, Newcastle players the 6 would quickly drop back and recover as soon as possible so that they can help out the defense. It was a masterclass in how you play football without the ball. It really was. It's exactly what you need to do against a team that want to keep the ball and how to absolutely nullify all the threats. You look at the PSG lineup. Let's have a look at the lineup for this particular match. Let's just quickly look at this. PSG lost 4-1, ladies and gentlemen. Newcastle beat PSG 4-1. Incredible. I just want to touch base on this before we start looking at the match in details a little bit more. Newcastle United, unbelievable stadium, unbelievable fan base. And I think these are some of the reasons why the players give it back to the fans as well. Like they can see how much the fans are so vested in the team, so excited about the team, and the players play for this particular fan base. incredible, absolutely incredible. And the owners, of course, they've done madness with some of the transfers. They've bought well, they've bought some experience, they've bought some young players, and they've had a good balance. And of course, they've got themselves Eddie Howe, who's a very, very good tactical manager. But now, let's get back to this. Newcastle 4-1. This was the Newcastle setup. Gordon, Isak, Almiron, another player. Honestly, before the new ownership, no one talked about Almiron. And under the new ownership, under Eddie Howe, this guy's turning out to be a superb winger in the Premier League. In the middle, they've got Longstaff, who also scored a brilliant second half goal. Constructed goal by Newcastle. Guimaraes and Sandro Tonali were just amazing in the midfield. I know Sandro Tonali has got himself 6.6 rating, but he was very good. Guimaraes, we all know how good he was. It was his cross that led to Dan Burns' goal, which was Newcastle's second goal. Dan Burn was a monster as well, 7.9. Scar, Lascelles, and Kieran Trippier in the back with Nick Pope as the goalkeeper. So quite a strong lineup. Anthony Gordon up front. And this is how PSG lined up. Ramos, Kolomuani, Mbappe, Dembele, Ugarte, Zaire Emery, Hernandez, Skriniar, Marquinhos, and Hakim. Marquinhos got a 4.6. It was his mistake that led to the first goal. And Donnarumma as well. It was his mistake that led to the third goal for Longstaff, 4.9. But as you can see, PSG, the matches aren't won in paper. When you look at that PSG's lineup on paper, you think, wow, what a stunning lineup. But they were going nowhere. They were absolutely going nowhere. Clueless with possession, to be honest. Their only outlet seemed to be, always going towards Mbappe. Dembele had some chances, but he scuffed it. But kudos to Newcastle. Check this out. Check out some of the stats, ladies and gentlemen. You're going to get blown away. 27% possession to 73% possession of PSG. 1.05 expected goals to 0.85. Big chances created 2 to Newcastle. 8 shots on target, 12 shots on total, all more than PSG. 166 accurate passes to 584. It was a total masterclass of how to play football without the ball. It's just incredible. Absolutely incredible. Ladies and gentlemen, look, we're going to wrap this up, but all I'm going to say is that Newcastle, that is what you call a project. That is what you say, things can be done in a short time. They've gone through their adversities as well. They've had quite a few losses. Well, if he started this season, they had losses last season as well. But, overall, they knew exactly what their goal was, what they needed to achieve, and they did that. They've purchased well, they've purchased smart, and they've created a balanced team. With the help of the fan base, who are very, very supportive, with an amazing stadium that creates an unbelievable atmosphere, and with a manager that is very, very tactically apt, and the owners just doing a lot of smart business, not just in the transfer market, but all over. So yes, it's a lesson to learn. It's a lesson to learn exactly how to build a football club to a position where they were in the relegation zone prior to the takeover. So look, massive kudos to Newcastle and their fan base. And in the group of death, this is the group of death. This is how I want to actually end this situation. This is the group of death, ladies and gentlemen, for Newcastle and PSG. Have a look at this. In the group of death, hopefully we can bring up the table. Newcastle, Paris Saint-Germain, and AC Milan and Borussia Dortmund. AC Milan, Borussia Dortmund looks like they had a draw. In the group of death, Newcastle's the one that's leading. I mean, that is quite incredible. And they've really put themselves in a strong position to perhaps go into the second round. Well done, Newcastle, and to your fan base. Honestly, kudos. Hope you guys have enjoyed this. Smash the like button. If you're here for the first time, subscribe. Let me know what you think about Newcastle's rise and what you thought about this match against PSG. Until next time, everyone, take care and see ya.